wrote you these letters. I wrote my first letter to you over the summer, and you were away at basic camp, and I was back home in Chicago, and we would talk on the phone every night at 9, and you were leaving for a few days for some army retreat, and you said that we wouldn't be able to talk for a few days, and you told me to write you a letter, which is something I wanted to do anyway. And this was the first one. Hi, baby. I miss you so much. I'm so excited to get out of Chicago, baby. It's weird, I was so excited to come home, but there's just been so much going on in my family that it doesn't even really feel like home anymore. Last night we had this campfire with some friends, and someone asked me if I knew what Murphy's Law was, and I realized I completely forgot. It's literally anything that can go wrong will go wrong, which makes a whole lot of sense, huh? This is the first summer in a while where I haven't been away to sleepaway camp. And you know, when I was little, my happy place used to be on the front of this little speedboat around the lake at summer camp. And I know that I talk about camp way too much, but being on the front of that speedboat was kind of the only place where everything sort of disappeared and I didn't need to think about any of the bad shit. I know it's so cheesy, but anytime shit is pretty hard here, I just think back on the start of the summer and being on that little boat with you. You know, that was such a good day, and even though it was just pouring rain as soon as we got out on the water, we just rode back in, and for like 4 hours, we just joked around in the Jeep until the rain stopped. And it didn't even matter that we pooled all of our savings together to get on that little boat. I really missed that day. The rain was the only thing to worry about. I think it's kind of my new happy place now. I hope you know how proud I am of you. I'm really sorry your parents aren't being supportive. It's not some easy stuff to deal with. Just know that I am, and you've worked so hard for this, and I'm so excited for you. I miss you so much. I hope you know how important you are to me, even though I don't tell you as often as I should. I miss you. Please be safe out there. I can't wait to see you soon. Yours, Lauren.
One, two, three, ho!
Hi.
Hey, sweetie, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Raise up, get yourself together. Drive that funky soul. Get up, get yourself together, and drive your funky soul. They do it
You know, I always wanted to be a musician. That was always my dream as a kid. I think a lot of kids want to be a baseball player or an astronaut. I always wanted to be a musician. I didn't care if I was famous or not. I just wanted to be a musician. So I sort of got into the early sort of glam rock, punk rock kind of thing as a kid. And that's I became a passionate music fan. And all the money I would make from summer jobs would either go to buying records or going to concerts. Now, back then, you could go to a concert for $5. It was great. You know, unlike, you know, paying $300 to see the Eagles, you could pay $5 and see David Bowie, which was really incredible. And when I was in high school, I formed a band. I was never very good, but I was a lead guitarist in the band. We had 3 guitar players, a drummer, no singer, and we didn't know any songs. But the one guy in the band who was kind of talented, really had talent, told us, I've got this great gig for us to play. They're going to pay us $200 to play this gig. So we packed all our stuff up in the car and we loaded it all up in the car. And we went to play. And we played first Blues Jam in A, and then we played Blues Jam in C, and then we didn't know any of those songs. And the guy who was hosting the party came up and said, I got to say, I've seen a lot of bands. You guys are the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. And at that point, I sort of tried to sneak out. I took my equipment. I was going out to the car, and the guy goes, are you a roadie? And I said, oh, yeah, I'm just helping the band. And I actually left. I was so embarrassed to be there that I snuck out of the gig. That was actually the only gig that we played. But I eventually got demoted from lead guitar player to rhythm guitar player to bassist, to getting demoted out of my own band that I formed. Well, what's interesting is I wanted us to be sort of a punk band, but I wasn't. Not many other people agreed with me. But they went on to become a well-known band called the Z-Toys, and they won the MTV Basement Tapes. At that time, MTV was huge, and that was a huge popular show on MTV. So they got a lot of national attention and a record contract from it.
Right now, let's take a look at the final numbers. And not only are tonight's champs going to take home $5 grand in Yamaha equipment, but they're also going to fill the third of 6 slots in the finals, where they'll get a shot at the recording contract with Elektra Records, $30,000 in Yamaha equipment.
And I think I always tried to inculcate my daughters with my love of music. And every time we go on a car trip, we had certain CDs we'd always play. I loved playing funk things for them. Especially like Sly and the Family Stone. I think you know all those songs from hearing them 1,000 times as a kid. Music that I love, but I think, everybody goes on to develop their own taste in music. I think you've got pretty good taste in music, but you develop your own taste in music. But I think hopefully influenced by what you heard growing up. My favorite memories of music were concerts I was able to share with you. Especially when I took you to a concert, and you would go, I could see your eyes light up when we would go to concerts, or even listening to a song in a car that you would love. That's to me, my favorite memories are sharing that great music with you, and seeing you that sort of light in your eyes that I get when I hear a great song in the car. That's probably as an adult looking back in my life, that's probably some of my favorite times.
I got my tattoo back in October 2018 in Atlanta with a buddy of mine.
I got my tattoo this past summer during a time where things in my family were pretty rough.
So I got my tattoo last summer in a tattoo shop in Berkeley. It was my boss's cousin's wife, who's a tattoo artist.
So pretty much the Hanya mask is a mask that represents a woman who was overcome with envy and greed and thus turned into a demon.
I remember the first day that I walked into the studio, one of the head coaches came up to me and said, "Lauren, we're gonna turn you into un tigre."
You've got mail.
Now, there are fears that the coronavirus outbreak could become a pandemic. It's already classed as an epidemic, but here's an update from the BBC's medical correspondent Fergus Walsh saying the combined situation in South Korea, Iran and Italy point to the early stages of a pandemic.
If you want me to stay, I'll be around today to be available for you to see.